something just went wrong. A message you didn't want to read, a deadline that moved, a look on someone's face that you couldn't quite shake. Nothing touched you, nothing chased you, and yet, within minutes, you find yourself wanting something sweet, not hungry. Wanting, and the want is specific, sharp, and sudden, aimed straight at the nearest sugar you can find. People call this a lack of discipline, emotional eating, a weak habit you should be strong enough to break. They tell you to white-knuckle it, to dig up some willpower you apparently misplaced. But the real answer is far stranger and far older than any habit. Your body did not betray you. It followed an emergency order written into you long before deadlines existed. An order that, for almost all of human history, was exactly the right thing to do. To understand it, you have to understand what stress actually is. Nearly a century ago, a physiologist named Walter Cannon gave it a name that stuck: fight or flight. He found that when the body senses a threat, it does not sit and think. It prepares to move. The heart speeds, the muscles tighten, and underneath it all, the body throws open its fuel reserves, because whatever is coming, you are about to need energy. Fast. That system has not changed. The neuroendocrinologist Robert Sapolsky spent his career studying it, and he describes the stress response as a body bracing to sprint for its life. A hormone called cortisol floods your bloodstream. Cortisol's job, among other things, is to find energy and make it available right now. It pulls sugar into your blood and holds the doors open, getting you ready to run or to fight. So ask yourself what your body wants in that moment. Not a slow, complicated meal. Not something that takes an hour to digest. It wants the fastest fuel that exists. And the fastest fuel on earth is sugar. This is the part that should change how you see the craving. Your brain is not being weak. It is being efficient. Faced with what it reads as danger, it reaches for the most instantly burnable energy it can find, exactly as it was built to. Sugar hits the blood in seconds. For a body that believes it is about to fight for its life, nothing else even comes close. Now picture the world this was made for. Your ancestors did not get stressed by emails. They got stressed by a shape moving in the grass, a rival baring teeth, a storm rolling in over the hills. Their stress was physical, and it was brief. The threat appeared, the body flooded with fuel, and then they ran or fought or escaped, and the sugar in their blood was burned clean away by the very muscles that saved them. Stress arrived, the fuel was spent, and the system reset. The craving made perfect sense because the energy was always used, and sugar in that world was not sitting on a shelf. It was rare, locked inside ripe fruit or a hidden comb of honey, there for a few days and then gone. A body that craved it hardest, that chased it down the moment danger demanded energy, was a body that survived. The hunger for sweetness was not a flaw. It was one of your oldest advantages. But there is a deeper layer, and a researcher named Mary Dahlman uncovered it. She studied what happens under stress that does not end, and she found something strange. Comfort food does not only feed the body, it quiets the alarm. When you eat something sweet and rich under stress, it actually dampens the stress response itself, turning down the cortisol, softening the feeling of threat. Your body, in other words, learns a lesson. Sugar does not just fuel the danger. Sugar makes the danger feel smaller. Do you see the trap closing? Stress tells you to find sugar. Sugar tells your body the stress is easing. And so the loop tightens, one craving quietly teaching the next until some deep part of your brain has filed sweetness away as the answer to feeling unsafe. It is not a thought you ever chose. It was learned in a place below thinking, written by relief and repeated until it became automatic. This worked beautifully for a creature that was almost never stressed. For most of human history, real threats were rare, sharp, and over in moments. But look at your stress now. It does not come and go. It hums. A deadline that lasts a week, a worry that follows you to bed and is still there when you wake, a phone that delivers a fresh small threat every few minutes. Your ancient alarm cannot tell the difference between a charging predator and an unread message. It answers the only way it knows how. It floods you with cortisol, and it screams for fuel. And here is where the whole system breaks. The fuel never gets burned. You are not sprinting from anything. You are sitting still, in a chair under a threat that has no body and no teeth. So the sugar your craving demanded, the sugar your blood is now flooded with, has nowhere to go. The muscles that were supposed to spend it never move. The emergency that was supposed to end simply never does. A study led by the researcher Alyssa Eppel caught this happening in real time. She found that the people whose bodies pumped out the most cortisol under stress were the very same people who went on to reach for the most sweet, rich food afterward. The craving was not a character flaw. It tracked the size of the stress response, hormone for hormone. The more your body believed it was in danger, the harder it reached for sugar. So when stress hits and you suddenly, specifically want something sweet, try to pause for a single breath before you turn on yourself. That pull is not a failure of character. It is an ancient body doing precisely what once kept your ancestors alive, fueling itself for a fight that is no longer coming, bracing against a predator that was only ever a feeling. You are not broken and you are not weak. You are carrying a survival system that is far older than the world it now lives in, running flawlessly, in a body that no longer needs to run. Something just went wrong, and your body answered the way it always has, reaching for the fastest fuel it knows, trying to save you from a danger that this time has no teeth at all.